All right, we're going to continue our reading with Mother Jones, but before we read about Mother Jones, let's take a look at the questions that we have to answer. So we're going to be able to answer number 1 because we'll have finished reading Mother Jones by then. So Maggie Kuhn and Mary Harris Jones are both what? What do they have in common? All of these tragedies below struck Mother Jones except, so what thing did not happen to Mother Jones? Mother Jones, just a true fact about her. Mother Jones's father, something about her father.
All buses have been called. If you are still in the building and missed your bus, please come to the front office. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Sorry about that. Number 8, Mother Jones first became concerned about workers when? And then number 9, Mother Jones helped the labor movement in all of the following ways except, so a wrong answer. Let's go ahead and read. Mary Harris Jones was 81 years old when she heard about a coal miners' strike in West Virginia. She had never been inside a coal mine. She had no friends who worked as coal miners. The old dressmaker seemed an unlikely person to lead the strikers, but that is what she did. So we have the age again. They always talk about kind of how old all these people are. So we have an age. She's 81. And we know that she led the coal miners' strike. She seemed like an unlikely person to lead the strike, but that's what she did. So that's important to know that she was helping out a cause that really had no meaning or purpose to her. In 1912, strikers at the Paint Creek Coal Company in West Virginia welcomed the help of Mother Jones. They were not the first to do so. Jones had understood the troubles of unjustly treated workers since childhood. Her father had been one. He built railroad tracks. His hours were long. His work was dangerous. His paycheck was small. Workers in many other jobs faced the same challenges. So, something about her father, right here. Father built railroad tracks. And I'm also going to highlight unjustly treated because she knew about a lot of people who were treated unfairly. And, she talks about some of the things that were unfair that her father had to deal with. Unfair. As a young adult, Jones was still worried about workers. Jones married a union leader. She fought for fair and safe working conditions. Jones stayed home and reared 4 children. Then yellow fever hit Memphis. Rich families moved away. Working class families had no money to move, so they watched their loved ones fall ill. Jones' husband and children all died in the epidemic. That's very important to know. Jones went from having a husband and 4 kids to all of them being gone in this yellow fever epidemic. We also probably want to tie in that just like her father worked for somebody when he was treated unfairly, so did Jones's husband. He was a union leader, so he fought for safe working conditions. I'm going to put a sad face right here because that's tragic and that's sad. And we know that tragedy has struck Jones' family. Jones was alone in the world. She opened a dressmaking shop. She was a good seamstress. Her shop did well. Then tragedy struck again. I'm already going to go ahead and put a sad face here because we see that word again. Tragedy. A fire took Jones' shop and home. Jones looked away from her troubles. She wanted to help others who worked hard but still had struggles. She dedicated the rest of her life to the union movement. She traveled all over the country. She started new unions. She supported old ones. She addressed strikers. She helped get laws passed to improve the lives of workers. Old Mother Jones owned no more than she could fit in a small suitcase, but she gave a great deal to American workers of the past and present. So here's that tragedy that I underlined. A fire took her shop and home, so that's sad. But even though, she went through these things, she dedicated the rest of her life to the union movement because she wanted to help people. So that's our entire story. So now after that, you can answer the rest of your questions. You can answer number 1. Maggie Kuhn and Mary Harris Jones were both mothers of 10 children, active in their later years, child prodigies who began their work at a young age, or famous artists. You can answer number 4. All the tragedies below struck Mother Jones except her children died of illness, her husband died of yellow fever, her home burned down, her business was lost in a flood. Mother Jones was born before Maggie Kuhn, was the founder of the Gray Panthers, never worked outside of the home, retired from union work at the age of 65. Mother Jones' father was a union leader, was a coal miner, died of yellow fever, built railroad tracks. Mother Jones first became concerned about workers when her husband was killed in a job-related accident, when her business failed, when her father endured tough working conditions, when her mother was harassed on the job. Mother Jones helped the labor movement in all the following ways except giving speeches, starting new unions, sewing dresses, or supporting old unions. Okay. All right, go ahead and answer those questions on your own, and then upload them to Kidum. If it's easier for you to email me pictures, that's fine too. Either email me pictures of your question sheet, or just upload it to Kidum so I can see that you've done it, and I will give you some feedback when I see it. So best of luck, good job, and I will talk to you all later.